There's a study, I don't know the name of the study. I want to say it was done in Russia in the early 1900s. I know somebody in my comment section knows the study I'm talking about. And it's a study where they took orphan babies and they fed them and changed them and did everything they were supposed to, but they didn't talk to them and they didn't like hold them. And they all died around the same time. And they thought it was a fluke. And they did again, and the same thing happened. So I'm bringing it up to show or to say how essential touching and communicating and interacting with other human beings, how important it is, right? For our survival, for our livelihood, for our essence, for our soul, to be able to communicate and touch one another. And you know, I was talking to a friend about this maybe a couple days ago. Even when this is over, the psychological ramifications, the PTSD that this I'm calling it a hoax has induced on society is just going to be astronomical. I'm supposed to have my friend on and we're gonna kind of have like a little bitch session about it, just to kind of get our feelings out and and talk about this. And she was devastated the other day. She said she went to the store and she saw a friend that she hadn't seen in a long time, and she went up to hug her friend because that's her natural instinct, and her friend yelled at her and screamed at her and like basically shamed her for, you know, wanting to hug her. And her friend, she was like, my friend had like gloves on and she had them and she was like really scared, and you know, and it was just like, it was so sad, you know, it was so sad. And I understand her, you know, her being really just devastated, you know, like, of course I would be devastated too. I'm devastated listening to it, maybe devastated is the right word, but I'm just upset hearing that story, you know. It's really, you know, I'm glad that I have my friends to talk to, even though a lot of them are like miles away, because this is what's helping us get through this. I try and do these videos. It helps me to vent, and it helps me to read your comments, and then you guys say that I help you, you know, by doing the videos. So we all need each other, right? It's, you know, it's this weird thing. Even though we're miles away, we're still craving we're still craving human connection with each other. And even now, you know, this whole stupid ass virus hoax has made it so, you know, even the people closest to us, we can't even like be intimate with. We can't even touch our own face. Oh my God, I'm touching my face. I'm touching my face. Does that mean everybody's gonna die? We can't even touch ourselves. Think about how ridiculous that is. And then I saw this ad where they're talking about, I think it's like Humana, and they have this little animation showing us what social distancing is. I'm like, is this fucking Sesame Street? They're talking to us like we're children. Flatten the curve. This is social distancing. This is how you do it. Stand 6 feet away. I was listening to James Corbett. I'm gonna put that in the links later, or you know what? I'll probably just upload this video before then, so I'll add it later. But if you want to see it before, look at James Corbett's video, the Corbett report that he did on social distancing. And I mean, he's always very brilliant. And we interviewed him years ago on our podcast. And he's so humble. Like, he'll be like, yeah, I really don't know that much about this subject. And then he'll just like go off. And you're like, damn, you still have a lot of knowledge even to be so humble. But I guess I know how it is when the more you know stuff, you know, the more you realize you don't know. It's so, you know, it just never ends. So, you know, he did a really good analysis, and in his video, he also left some links to some really good articles analyzing this, you know, this social programming that they're trying to get us to do by social distancing, and, you know, staying 6 feet away, and, you know, and it's just, I went to Trader Joe's the other day, and I don't think I ever want to go back to Trader Joe's again, ever, because I've been going to other grocery stores as needed, like Sprouts and Natural Grocers, and they didn't do this. So basically, we had to stand in line like we were in fucking kindergarten, right? But with our social distancing standards, then every 10 minutes while we're waiting in line, they had somebody to come out and give us a spiel like how not to shop and how to shop, you know. And then they lined us up as we went in, and you know they put hand sanitizer in our hands. I didn't take that shit. I can't do hand sanitizer. I'm real sensitive to chemicals, and I let them know that. I'll go wash my hands if it makes them feel comfortable, but I'm not gonna like stand in line like we're fucking cattle and hold our hands out and be sprayed with fucking hormone disrupting carcinogenic chemicals that, you know, basically destroy the first layer of your skin anyway, making it more susceptible to disease. But people are constantly using antibacterial soap and, you know, hand sanitizers, not knowing how bad it is, thinking that, you know, not knowing that it's actually make them more vulnerable, but thinking it's making them safer, right? So, I don't know. I'm very, I don't know, man. Each day I go up and down. Like, you know, I'm getting into some of the Q stuff. Some people are sending me that stuff, and I've been looking at some of that. And it's cool. The thing about the Q stuff, which I find funny, is like, y'all are late. I knew about all this shit 10 years ago. I knew about Pizzagate before it was Pizzagate. Like, all the research and stuff, it's solid and it's true. You know, I believe from my research and from my experience and from the people that I've talked to, and, you know, it's true. I really hope that they're good people that are actually working on our behalf to help turn this thing around, because we need it more than ever. And if you are out there doing that, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I send you my light and love, and I wish you success, because we're needed. We're like, you know, it's getting pretty bad, it looks like. But yeah, I don't understand, you know, but people that follow Q, could you please explain to me why Trump just signed a bill to make 5G more prevalent? And those of you who are going to come up in my comment section and be like, oh, well, 5G is not bad. Yes, it's fucking terrible, actually. You should do your research and find out why, okay? We don't need these towers. We can run it underground. Like, why are we having these towers? They cause cancers. They can cause people to get sick. It lowers your immune system. It depletes your oxygen. You know, it can be used as a weapon. So it's not like just harmless, okay? Please, there's lots of studies, there's lots of research. It's banned in some countries because people were able to get together under, you know, I guess the countries where their government cares about them, you know, and prove, you know, that it was harmful, and, you know, it's not even allowed in some countries. So, I mean, so please explain that shit to me. Like, a lot of other stuff makes sense, but like, I'm puzzled now. I want to believe so bad, but I see shit like that, and I'm like, what's going on, right? I see Anthony Fauci being advised by him, and I just found an article somebody posted talking about Anthony Fauci says that this is in 2017, that the Trump administration is going to be faced with a surprise disease outbreak, right? Sounds like it was planned, doesn't it? How would he know 3 years before, unless he's psychic? Or maybe they had something up their sleeves. I'm just saying. Anomaly did a good video, and he did a really good video on talking about like how he feels about Q, and how, and I've been having the same thoughts, so it really resonated with me. And, you know, kind of the same, he was like, yeah, I believe the research is good and yada yada yada, but, you know, there are people that are really like, oh, just wait in 2 weeks, you know, you'll see. And I hope that happens. I hope. But as of now, there are people that can't put food on the table, you know, right now. There are people that, you are freaking out. They're losing their businesses. It's gonna make, this whole hoax is gonna make more people, it's gonna put people into depression. There's gonna be suicide. There's gonna be homelessness. There's gonna be there's gonna be more bad that comes down from closing the country and messing up the economy than has come from people thinking that they're being, saved from a virus that's, that they can't definitively test for, which I keep saying. And the thing I keep reiterating about the test, because that's the baseline. I mean, people want to say, oh, it was created in a lab, or oh, they're injecting us with stuff. I'm not saying that that's not possible, but it doesn't even have to be that complicated. They can just, from my observation and my research, they're manipulating people because most people don't understand the basic science of how the tests are conducted. So if of course the cases are going to go up if more people are being tested and the test gives false positives, right? And they're testing completely healthy people, right? Or they're testing people that already have other conditions. Like most of the people that have died, they've already had other health conditions. So it's not killing perfectly healthy people, right? And then I noticed that the news organizations are kind of, the fake news is responding to people's criticism. So for the longest time, they were saying, oh, well, it wasn't isolated. And then people were criticizing that. People were like, oh yeah, it's not isolated. So let me just go back up for a minute. So in order for a disease or pathogen to be considered contagious, because science is a methodology, there is a protocol that you have to follow called Koch's postulates. And that means you have to isolate it and purify it. So take it out of, its environment, purify it, make sure there's nothing around that can give you a false positive, and then put it somewhere else and have it replicate. And if it does that, then you know that it was the pathogen that's causing the illness. So people in the science community was like, oh, well, they haven't isolated it. And then a few days ago, they just came out with the paper showing that, oh, a scientific team just isolated the coronavirus. Okay, well, my question is, if they're just isolating it like a few days ago, what were they testing it against before? How do they have a test and we're testing people and getting confirmed cases if they hadn't isolated it yet? Right? Doesn't make sense. So then I found a friend sent me another paper showing that a team in Korea isolated the coronavirus like last year, like in October. But then, okay, then why do they have two conflicting, samples of the virus being isolated? It doesn't make sense to me. And they just completely ignore that paper, but then they're gonna go credence to the people that just isolated a few days ago. And then even then we're going on their word that they did that, because the thing about the biological sciences, we don't have certain tools to verify things for ourselves. So we have to rely on authority or authority figures or people to tell us. And because of that, people can just straight up lie and manipulate data. And this is, they've been caught doing this over and over and over again. There are whistleblowers or medical journals that have come out and said they've done studies on studies in journals and how they collect information. And I think it's like over 60%, maybe more, of the data is manipulated and false and subjective. That's not science. And because people don't understand this, then they're easily manipulated. So when you say you have like 1,000 confirmed cases in cities, people freak out. But what's getting me is I'm seeing people freak out that I know that the media lies, yet they're still believing it. So that's the thing that's kind of pissing me off, and it's been my main frustration throughout this whole thing, is people aren't really digging and doing their investigative research and questioning things and using the knowledge that they know to really get to the bottom of this. Instead, they're just sitting back and let the lying media tell them lies. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I don't really know. So yeah, like, so I was saying the anomaly thing really resonated with me, because he was saying that, you know, what I was thinking is that people, you know, are freaking out right now. And I wrote him, I was like, well, maybe we can like do like some kind of online concert or something to raise money. And he's probably busy. Maybe he didn't like the idea. It's fine. I'm not judging him or anything. It's a lot of preparation work. I don't really have the time. I'm just thinking about what I can do. What can you do? So I'm thinking about maybe, you know, I'm on edge right now too. I'm fortunate that I'm still working, but they may cut down my hours or cut down one of the routes that I have. But I'm thinking maybe I can at least donate $50 a month to a family that wants food. What, you know, something, what can you do? I finally reached the threshold to be able to get paid, because my videos have been being demonetized. Even that last video I made that got over like 90,000 views, I made like $20 on that or something like that. Like, that's how bad it is. And I don't know if you know, in order for you to get paid, you have to make at least $100 to before you can even get paid. So if you like make $75 or whatever, you know, for the month, it's gonna sit in there until you reach that threshold. And then once you reach that threshold, you make $100 or more, then you get paid out. So I'm thinking I'm gonna take $50 of that and give it to a family that needs food, because maybe it doesn't even have to be big. I don't really trust charity organizations. I don't trust you know, big. Even though I was like, oh, maybe we can plan something big, and then I thought about it after I wrote it, but I was like, yeah, you know what, maybe I don't want to do that either, because you know, you don't really know where the money is going. You hope that somebody does a GoFundMe or something like that, it's going to the right place. So I'm thinking I can at least afford maybe to give a $50, like, I guess I'd have to get a Visa card or like a ATM, like a card, right, to a family that needs it. That's all I can afford right now. Can you guys do something similar? Maybe look around in your neighborhood. You know, if you're mobile like me, see if your neighbors need anything while they're out, like they can't go anywhere. You know, what can you do? What can you do? It takes little stuff. You know, I've said I was actually under martial law when I was in the riots. God, I was under martial law in the riots. And you see the worst in people and you see the best in people. And one thing I will say, that the community, you know, at the time really, or my apartment building and maybe the apartment buildings between us, they really did kind of look out for each other and make sure that everybody was okay. So if you lost your job, if you're in dire need, first person that sends an email to me, tell me your situation, info@truthortalk.com. I will give you a gift certificate. I don't get paid till Friday, so I'd have to like get it like Friday and send it out. I'm gonna try that way, just first come, first serve. You're really in dire, like you lost your job, you're like, how am I gonna eat? I'm waiting for the stimulus, whatever. That's all I can do right now for you guys. I'm trying to quit this job so I can do something else, and I'm also, you know, my hours are getting cut too. I think, you know, they're talking about closing down certain routes that I have. I have different routes, and then I get like an income based on my route. So, but for now, I can at least afford that. So I hope that can help somebody. You know, info@truthortalk.com. And then if you're watching, you know, you guys think about what you can do. Give some ideas maybe of what can be done to step up, you know. Ask what you can do for you, not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Okay, so first family that's like needs like food, like ASAP, please write me at info@truthortalk.com, and I will get you like a what are those? I will get you like a $50 ATM card. So wherever you are, I was thinking about I can get a grocery certificate card, but it's like I don't know what part of the country and what grocery stores are available to you, so I think it'd just be better to do like a $50 gift certificate, and maybe I can do that, you know, every month until the economy gets turned back on. I don't know, guys. What do you think? You have more ideas, let me know. info@truthortalk.com. All right, guys, that's it. I will talk to you later. Peace, truth, love. Bye-bye. Mwah.